Hi, I'm Annie Elichny, and I want to thank you for joining for meditation practice today. I would encourage you to use these practices or any of the techniques that we do together on your own other days as well. It will really help to keep things balanced and regulated and everything strong and healthy throughout the week. So I'm going to have us right off the bat have our posture very upright and dignified. So we could really feel the whole front body is open, just more space from the collarbones and the chest area and the lungs all the way down the rib cage and the diaphragm, even the soft belly. Everything is just very open, very, very strong posture here. And we're going to close our eyes. And we're going to take 3 breaths. And most of the time we'll always breathe in and out through the nose because that's a very healthy way to breathe for our whole body. But on these 3 breaths we're going to breathe in through the nose, really feeling the belly doing the inhaling. And on the exhale, you're just going to let it out through your mouth. So we'll take these 3 breaths together, inhaling, feeling the belly extending out. And then exhale, just release. Inhale. Exhale. And take 1 more. Inhale. And then exhale and just release out any stress and tension. Just let it all go. So we can keep our eyes shut. And again, pay attention to the posture. Really notice that right where the bottom of the rib cage is, that we're not kind of sunken in there, that you're really opening that up. And we're going to take our hands and just place them in front of us, in the air in front of us. And we're going to shake them like we're shaking water off the end of our fingers. And while we're shaking and your eyes are closed, shaking your hands, just pay attention to my voice and my words. We're going to talk about something that's probably exhausted all of us this time of year. It's multitasking to get everything done because it's a busy time of year. Multitasking. It's actually interesting because we are not designed to multitask. Our bodies, our minds are not designed to multitask. We think we can do multiple things, but really, when we are doing multiple things all at the same time, our brains and our bodies are toggling back and forth between these multiple things at once, trying to get them all done as quickly as possible for us. That's what happens. We toggle back and forth very quickly, trying to get all these things done at once. But in reality, we're really not doing all those things at the same time. We're not designed that way. Our thoughts, we can only have one thought at a time. Sometimes our thoughts feel like they're very fast. They're screaming, they're coming furiously fast, one after the other, random thoughts, and it can feel really overwhelming and exhausting. But if we can start to slow them down, we realize, and what science has proven, we have one thought at a time, and our bodies can do one task at a time. That's it. And what we also know is that when we just focus on one task at a time, without trying to do multiple things at the same time, when we're just doing one task, we care more about that one task, and that makes us happier. We're invested in the present moment, in our life, in that one present moment task at hand. So that's my spiel for multitasking. Science has now proven we can't multitask. And so we can start to slow down And we can start to shake off some of this tension and tightness throughout the body, like we're doing with our hands now, just shaking them. And this will help us to be able to actually slow down and realize how exhausted we are from trying to get so many things done all at once. So we can take our hands now and very slowly and gently place them on our lap, one on each thigh. And when we start to turn toward the body, toward the feelings and the sensations of the body, tune into these actual sensations, these deeply felt sensations, this can help slow us down and recharge us and not have us so exhausted. We're mentally exhausted. Wired and tired is another way that it's been termed lately. Feeling into your hands right now, noticing this vibration, this tingling aliveness. It's like this little electrical field running through fingers, through hands, and the palm, up the arms, and maybe moving in throughout the whole body now. We're releasing this tight tension, this buildup of emotional overthinking tension that can happen in the body when we start to shake it out or we release it from our breath. So just notice how the body is feeling as we just release some of this very superficial felt tension and held tension. And then we can start to pay attention to our body more specifically and again start to release some of the tightness and also start to move away from the multitasking mindset and just come to the here and now and restore ourselves from deeply within. Restore, reboot, refuel our energy supply, all of these things that meditation can do. Coming into the feet, feeling the feet, the surface of the soles of our feet on the floor. Maybe wiggling your toes again just to feel the sensations within your feet. Noticing any tingling or aliveness. And can we bring our focus, our mind's ability to focus? We have this mind that has this thinking quality to it, this voice in our head, and we also, the other part of our mind is this very focused, alive, intuitive part, very aware part of our mind. Can we bring it right into the middle of the foot, feeling all of the sensations deeply within the feet, noticing this vibration, this surging of energy, tingling perhaps. Coming up through the ankles and the lower legs and the knees and the thighs. As soon as we know that this, recognize for ourselves that this inner voice, this thinking mind is trying to distract us and pull us away, we can just very gently, without any frustration, no need to get upset, we can just bring our focus gently toward the felt sense in the body and let the thinking mind kind of move to the background, turn the volume down on it as if it's really almost a radio. We don't need to pay attention to it. Just come into the body, feel through the legs, and feel up through the sit bones and the pressure of our body. That pressure between the seat and where we're making contact on the backs of our legs. Feeling that weight, that pressure. We might feel a tingling even right there. And we could come up through the hips, up into the lower belly and the lower back. And I just want us to pay attention to the movement in the lower back, along the hips and in the belly, on the in-breath and the exhale. Again, making space along the front body. Noticing the movement of this lower part of our torso when we breathe in. It's the movement we're paying attention to. The movement that the muscles within the rib cage and the diaphragm are encouraging movement, all in the lower torso. Can we really feel the small movements as the breath comes into the belly, into the sides, along our obliques, and in even to the lower back area, feeling a movement. We're allowing our breath to expand slightly, so this is really healthy. As we pay attention to movement of the breath coming in and out, and we feel kind of a contraction sensation, everything moving in as we release the air through our nose, breathing in and out of our nose here. And then feeling again through the rib cage and the chest area, up to the clavicle bones, on the in-breath, just feeling this whole expansion of our body. Along the back part of our rib cage, around in between our shoulder blades. And then, like a wave, it comes in and fills, and then it contracts and releases. This movement of a wave, it kind of feels like that in the body. And then coming up through our shoulders, down our arms, into our hands. Notice if there's a lightness or a heaviness or a texture or electrical quality, a shimmery quality at all, running through our arms and hands and palms. Noticing if there's any tightness in the shoulders. Again, paying attention to an open chest and lung area, so we can really take in that breath when we're breathing in, even if we're not paying attention to the breath. And then come up through the back of the head, up to the top of the head. Pour all of our focus, just really be here now. There's anything that we have to get done, it'll be there, but we'll be more refreshed and more ready to handle anything when we give ourselves a little time out to really restore the nervous system, restore the organs, the breathing apparatus, the whole body, like we're doing now. Coming up through our forehead, the brain and the skull and the prefrontal cortex right at our forehead area, it can work most creatively, most innovatively for us when we take a little active, intentional, aware rest like we're doing now. This is like a body reboot. If we're only exhausted, then this amazing brain cannot function as well. It needs more oxygen, more energy than we have in our reserve for the day if we're too exhausted from multitasking. Breathing in through the face, eyes, jaw, through the throat even. noticing any sensations, anything that becomes obvious that's tight or tense. We can just recognize where we hold on to some tension. And just by bringing our focus here, we can soften and release it. So we're going to take our attention to our breath. And we're going to breathe in and out with a regulated breath of, on a count of 4 in and 4 out. And we're going to pause for about a count of 2 at the top on the inhale, and then at the exhale we're going to pause for about a count of 2 as well. And we're going to regulate the breath this way. So we're keeping an even inhale, exhale with a pause at the top and the bottom. And I'll go through it once. And then I'd like you to find your own rhythm. And one aim here is to elongate the breath just slightly. So perhaps we could move to a count of 5. But I want you to find your own rhythm. I want you to see where your thinking mind might take you in the silent space. And see if you can come back to the rhythm of 4 in, holding, 4 out, holding. So I'll go through it once with you now. So we'll inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath for 2. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath for 2. So now find your own rhythm here on the inhale. And make sure the breath is originating with the belly and then moving up to the chest secondarily. So we're inhaling for 4, holding the breath for 2, exhaling for 4, holding the breath for 2. If you get pulled into thoughts, come back to the counting, come back to the feeling in the body. Keep coming back over and over. Making sure the belly is getting very involved with each breath on the inhale. And then the navel is moving back toward the backbone on the exhale. So we're breathing and feeling the breath throughout the whole body. So at the bottom of the next exhale, you can release this technique, this regulated breathing. And now, with your focus, your mind's ability to focus that we've been working with, just watch the breath as it breathes itself. Instead of controlling it with our mind, which we just did, now we're releasing control and letting the breath breathe itself. And we're noticing our natural rhythm. Feeling a slow inhale and exhale. Noticing the qualities of the breath, if it's soft or smooth, if it feels gentle, if it feels like a struggle, if there's any strain or tightness. Just noticing the natural breath. Tuning in now to how your body is feeling. If there's a greater sense of openness, easiness, contentedness, perhaps a sense of space within the terrain of the whole body. We could feel like a field, less like a solid body, more like a field of openness as we breathe. As we stay very aware and alert, but calmed and restored. Sometimes I like to imagine my favorite animal. Mine happens to be an elephant. We all have deeply within us, all of nature, all of animals, including ourselves, a very still, quiet, wise place within us. And I imagine this space, this place that's in elephants. They're just very calm and confident. They're not multitasking. They're doing one thing at a time. And when we can find ourselves back to this space, this place of calm, alert, focused, restored place, we stay wise, we stay healthy, balanced, at peace, calm. And not as exhausted, overwhelmed, and stuck in our to-do list, our multitasking, hectic days. I encourage you to use these techniques and find small moments of restoring and rebooting for yourself. Thank you for your time, and have a wonderful day.